This is New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Joe Torres and Sandra Bookman. Sam Ryan with sports. And Jeff Smith with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at 6.
Breaking news, investigators believe they found a missing boy from Harlem. The NYPD recovered the body of Alpha Barry from the Hudson River this morning.
Plus, a new hub for asylum seekers at the Roosevelt Hotel. How that facility is taking pressure off the Port Authority. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Bookman.
And I'm Joe Torres, and we begin with the breaking news that we have been following all day. A tragic end to a devastating story in Harlem. Police believe they have located the body of the second boy who disappeared last week, 11-year-old Alpha Barry. Alpha and his friend Warren Garrett disappeared last Friday. Warren's body was found in the East River on Thursday. Now Alpha's family wants answers about how the boys died. Eyewitness News reporter Morgan Norwood is on the Upper West Side. Morgan?
You know, Joe, as you mentioned, certainly heartbreaking and not the outcome that the family of Alpha Barry had been praying for. Remember, for days they were holding out hope even after the death of the 13-year-old. But you're right, tonight they have questions and they want to know how this happened. Riverside and 102nd Street wrapped in crime scene tape this morning as crews made the grim discovery the family of Alpha Barry had been dreading. The 11-year-old's body pulled from the surface of the Hudson River. The discovery sent friends and family flocking to a mosque in the Bronx, weeping in agony, embracing each other, many in shock.
A kid of his size cannot jump that fast, you know what I mean? How did they get to that area? That's a question that needs to be answered, you know what I mean? So was someone pushed in? Because we don't believe that could be just for curiosity, you know what I mean? What happened? He was kidnapped by someone else? We don't know. Today's outcome mirrors Thursday's discovery on the East River. Alpha's friend, 13-year-old Garrett Warren, pulled from the water after hours of searching.
Everybody's overwhelmed with grief at this time.
Garrett and Barry had been missing since Friday when the pair passed under a surveillance camera near a playground at 143rd and Lenox. Well, that night, someone reported seeing two kids fall into the nearby Harlem River. But after an extensive search of both the river and the neighborhood, the two never turned up. Barry is being remembered tonight as a charming and loving boy. He attended the Democracy Prep Public School in Harlem. The school writing, "We are devastated to learn that Alpha Barry is no longer with us," adding he was a funny, bright, witty, inquisitive, and brave child.
Loving, very close to mommy, always helping mommy do the work at the house. Mommy doing grocery, or doing the laundry, or doing cookie cleaning the house. You understand? Every time, give mommy, you know, goodbye kiss when you go to school. So that's what happened on Friday when he was leaving.
And now that family left reeling tonight. Now, police on the investigative end have not said whether or not they suspect foul play, but all of this is under an investigation. We're also learning an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. Live on the Upper West Side, I'm Morgan Norwood, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Morgan, thank you. To the weather now, and the storm certainly put a damper on today's street fair on 9th Avenue in Hell's Kitchen, but there is some hope for the rest of the weekend.
Meteorologist Jeff Smith here now to map out the rest of the evening and tomorrow. Jeff?
If we could only do a redo of that street fair tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely ideal out there on Sunday, but anything but right now. We're talking about some flood advisories here for Nassau into western Suffolk County on Long Island until 8:15. A flood watch for New York City, western Long Island into the lower Hudson Valley right through midnight because we've had some occasionally heavy rain out there on pretty saturated ground right now, considering we've had quite a bit of rain during the day today. So right now, the heaviest rain extending from Nassau County up into eastern parts of Fairfield County, Connecticut, moving into western parts of Suffolk County as well. Lighter rain extends back into New York City and down the Jersey Shore. You see, there's a pretty big break in the action west of New York City, and we will get into that during the next couple of hours in the city itself, while meanwhile areas off to the east keep getting those heavier downpours, and they've already had the heavy rainfall up and over 1.25 inches at Islip, closing in on 1 3/4 inches of rain at Bridgeport, almost 1.5 inches at White Plains, about half of that in Central Park. So the wettest east of New York City into this evening. Otherwise, we get a break in the action and then a brief shower around midnight. Behind that front, we start drying things out after midnight. It's going to be a great day tomorrow. Warmer sunshine returning and a quiet stretch right through much of next week with temperatures near normal. 58 for a low tonight, and then as we head into tomorrow, we're back up to 77 degrees. degrees with more sunshine out there, maybe even touching 80 off to the west of New York City. We'll take you into the first part of the long holiday weekend next weekend in your AccuWeather 7-day forecast coming up. Back over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. New York City is expecting 15 buses of asylum seekers to arrive this weekend. Now, up until now, the Port Authority has been the major hub for asylum seekers to arrive, receive aid, and find their next destination. The city is now transitioning its welcome services to the Roosevelt Hotel. Eyewitness News reporter Johnny Fernandez visited that facility today.
The journey to the Roosevelt Hotel has been a long one, 2 months to be exact for Simana Rubulo and her daughters. She was a bit shy and didn't want to be seen on camera, but shared her story.
Porque en mi país no hay seguridad.
The reason she came to America was to find safety and a better healthcare system, something she couldn't find in Haiti. The Roosevelt Hotel has been transformed into a stopping ground for asylum seekers. Today, Army soldiers assisted men to their next destination on their journey. Inside, Rubulo says they helped her with some paperwork and provided her and her family with 2 meals, but she has plans to meet with family. Over at the Met, Project Rousseau founder Andrew Heimrich and his team hosted an asylum declaration workshop to help families with the documents needed to be granted asylum. Specifically, their focus was on helping migrants work on their client declaration.
One of the other extremely important documents is the client declaration, where the client explains what happened to them and why they're fleeing persecution and why they fear persecution should they have to return to their home country in their own words.
Alexander Frias just arrived in New York after living in Peru for 7 years. He is seeking asylum from the Dominican Republic.
Venimos acá por las oportunidades que estamos buscando una mejor oportunidad.
He explained his goal here is to seek other opportunities he couldn't find elsewhere. And back at the Roosevelt, those seeking opportunities will have a long road. But say life here is better despite everything they've been through. In Midtown Manhattan, Johnny Fernandez, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Still in critical condition, the 13-year-old who was shot in the head on Staten Island yesterday afternoon. Police have not determined if the boy was the intended target. He was part of a group standing near a basketball court when the shots rang out. Police are looking for 2 males who wore ski masks. They believe the gunman is 15 to 18 years old.
A shooting at this time of the day clearly illustrates the magnitude of the situation. Just a bright, energetic kid from the community, you know, just full of life, you know. It's just sad, man. You know, it's just a sad situation.
The victim goes to school just a few blocks from where the shooting happened.
Also on Staten Island, one person is recovering from serious burns after a house fire. It started on the 2nd floor of a home on Vanderbilt Avenue just after 6 early this morning. Fire officials said the victim had burns on 90% of his body. He was taken to Staten Island University Hospital. A firefighter also injured, but those injuries not considered serious. Investigators now trying to determine if a propane heater found in the home may have played a role.
The legal defense fund for subway chokehold suspect Daniel Penny is now approaching $2.7 million. Donations are sent through Give, Send, Go, a site that's similar to GoFundMe. More than 55,000 people have made contributions. Prosecutors charged him with second-degree manslaughter, and he's currently out on $100,000 bail. The page for the fund says any unused money will be given to a mental health program.
One day after naming himself treasurer of his own campaign, George Santos has a new treasurer, Jason Bowles, who also serves on a number of other campaigns, including Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, there had been questions about Santos, his last treasurer, who took over after someone else left. This comes more than a week after the freshman congressman pleaded not guilty to a 13-count federal indictment.
Calls today to do more to address rent increases across New York. Tenants, elected officials, and housing advocates marched across the Brooklyn Bridge today. They want more action from state and local leaders. They say rent hikes and unjust evictions hurt some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers.
Today was a special day for hundreds of New York City students. They got a chance to learn from some of the best in the TV and movie industry. Our own Sade Badarinois hosted the annual Be Real with Your Dreams today in Lower Manhattan. Invited high school students picked up some helpful hints in their quest to become the next generation of storytellers. And there were some familiar faces from Channel 7, along with actors, makeup artists, and writers.
You will have people that will try to push you off your path, but it's up to you to know what you know and know what you don't.
If you want to be a screenwriter, you don't need someone else to validate you and tell you you are a screenwriter. If you go home today and you write 3 ideas down, you are already a screenwriter.
I understand what it feels not to feel legitimate, to feel insecure, but then when you surround yourself with the right people, it's very important.
In addition to the panel, there were different workshops for the students. This was the event's 13th year.
A baby left to die in Georgia is alive and healthy, and investigators found the person who abandoned the baby girl. How police tracked the child back to her mother and the charges that mother now faces. Plus,
I thought I was going to pass out or maybe die.
A 12-year-old avoids tragedy while choking at lunch. How his twin sister saved the day. I'm Sandra Bookman. On Here Now, why the NAACP wants menthol cigarettes banned, and the new novel on police interactions with young people of color, Sunday at noon. 4 years after a newborn girl was discovered under a bath mat, police say they have found and arrested her mother. New DNA testing linked suspect Karima Jawani to the infant who became known as Baby India. And the little girl was left to die under that mat, which had been placed in a backyard in Georgia. But the people who lived in the home heard the infant's cries.
I'm dumbfounded by any reasoning that could be there and how someone can have the ability to leave their own child to die. I told you 4 years ago we would find them and my cuffs would be on them, and they were.
Police say Baby India is currently in a safe and healthy home.
There are less than 2 weeks to go until the country may not be able to pay its bills. Should the U.S. default, there would be economic consequences and millions of people could potentially lose their jobs. ABC's Phil Lipoff with the latest on where things stand.
As the U.S. inches closer to a default on its $31.4 trillion debt, a halt in negotiations between the White House and House Republicans. But sources say that could change as talks have remained fluid. Late Friday, negotiators from both sides met for more than an hour behind closed doors, with a key GOP lawmaker calling it a candid discussion. Key issues in the negotiations include government spending cuts, unspent COVID relief funds, and new work requirements for federal aid programs. The White House and President Biden claim there is a bipartisan path forward. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says a deal needs to be reached this weekend in order to pass legislation through the House and Senate before June 1st. That's when Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warns the government could run out of money. The bills due that day include $47 billion for Medicare, $12 billion for veterans benefits, and $10 billion for military pay and retirement. The topic of the debt limit, a subject of interest at the G7 summit in Japan.
This is not generating alarm or a kind of vibration in the room. I would just say that the countries are keenly interested in what is a significant story, and the president has been able to tell them that he believes that we can get to a good result here.
President Biden ending his trip to Asia ahead of schedule to resume negotiations in person. Phil Lipoff for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
A new bond between twins from Massachusetts after one saved the other's life. School security camera video shows 12-year-old Charlie choking on a piece of cheese in the cafeteria. Everyone else seemed to think that he was just nauseous, but his sister Amelia knew better. She ran to him and performed the Heimlich maneuver.
I just knew that he was choking because his face was turning a different color, and I got up fast so I could help him. You're welcome. Thanks.
Making this even more incredible, Amelia had not actually been formally trained to perform the Heimlich maneuver.
Way to go, sibling. Let's take one more live look outside. Today was a soggy Saturday, but will Sunday bring some sunshine? We will check in with Jeff next.
American Airlines and JetBlue must now go their separate ways. A federal judge says the two companies must abandon their partnership because it reduces competition in the airline industry. For 2 years, the two carriers split Northeast markets. The airline's still deciding whether to appeal.
A lot of people already spend quite a bit of time on TikTok. Well, there's a company that wants to pay some people to watch it even more. The marketing company, Ubiquitous, wants to pay 3 people $100 an hour to go on a 10-hour TikTok watching session. The company hopes it will help them discover emerging trends online.
That's a lot of TikTok.
That's a lot of cash, too.
Oh, that's right. I'll take that.
All right.
We'll check in with
So
you.
you have a
leave it on.
volunteer. All right. So tomorrow you should not waste time
No,
with
you
your
shouldn't be
cell
watching
phone. You need to be
do
outside.
not do that tomorrow. Get outside. It's going to be a fantastic day out there. Sunshine pretty much from start to finish. Numbers getting back up into the upper 70s after a very rainy day. Let's head outside right now, and this pretty much sums it all up. Everything kind of looking a little, this isn't exactly Chamber of Commerce weather. The skyline looking very underwhelming there with that low ceiling height. 65 degrees right now, humidity way up at 93%. Now, this is much needed rainfall, mind you. South wind right now coming in around 3 miles per hour. 72 is your normal high this time of the year. No big surprise that with the clouds and the rain, we were held to about 7 degrees below that. 96 the record in this day back in 1996. And rainfall just over 3/4 of an inch in Central Park, but many spots, including even in parts of New York City, JFK Airport checking in with well over an inch of rain, and especially out onto Long Island in southwestern Connecticut. 8:11 p.m. is your sunset, not that you're actually going to see the sun go down with these clouds around. This is the good news here. You know, it's abnormally dry according to our drought monitor, which was issued on Thursday over Long Island and southwestern parts of Connecticut. Guess what? That's the area getting the heaviest rainfall, so that is much needed rain, and that'll be beneficial in that area. Next 7 hours in the city. Now, I think we get a break from the action, a break in the rainfall, maybe just a little bit of light drizzle and fog at times, and then maybe another batch of rainfall, some showers moving through around midnight with that cold front. Behind the front, we begin to dry things out finally. Now, this entire time period in here east of New York City will be very wet, and we have those showers continuing heavy at times over Long Island right through the evening. 69 Newark right now, so you've actually inched up close to the 70-degree mark there. 65 at LaGuardia, only 60 at Montauk at this hour. You got middle 60s north and west of New York City. A new flood advisory has been issued for southeastern parts of Fairfield County, Connecticut. That extends right through 9:15. This is the existing flood advisory through 8:15 for Nassau and western parts of Suffolk County on Long Island. And look, that's where the heaviest rain is located right now, that corridor, Nassau, western Suffolk into southeastern parts of Fairfield, getting some rainfall rates up to about 1/2 inch per hour, and that could cause localized flooding and poor drainage locations. But a break in the action off to the west, and this will gradually be moving into the city during the next few hours. Meanwhile, you're still getting dumped on with some heavy rain over Long Island. Here comes that kind of skinny batch of showers moving in right around midnight. So with that, a brief shower in here, and then after that we start drying things out. And look at tomorrow, maybe some early cloud cover giving way to sunshine. We have numbers well up into the 70s by later on tomorrow afternoon, maybe touching 80 on a thermometer or two west of New York City. So it's a break in the action for a while tonight, except east of New York City that rainfall continues, and then one last shower around midnight. And then that's it. We start clearing things out. We're down to 58. Sunshine returning tomorrow, noticeably warmer. 77 in Midtown, but 80 plus west of New York City, ranging all the way down to 70 right at the beaches. Clear and comfortable for tomorrow night. We're back down to about 60. A little bit cooler to Monday into Tuesday with that onshore flow. We're talking about numbers in the lower 70s, pretty close to average for this time of the year. We spike back up into the upper 70s on Wednesday. Could be a shower late Wednesday night, and then behind that front, a little bit cooler Thursday, Friday, around 70. More clouds on Saturday, the first leg of the Memorial Day weekend. That high getting up to around 70 degrees. We'll have an update tonight after the game.
All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Alrighty. A lot of 7s on that board. Yep. Sam Ryan has the night off. Anthony Johnson up next with a look at sports.
Jeff just mentioned legs. The second leg of horse racing's Triple Crown Series is now just minutes away. And Mother Nature, as Jeff was talking about, intervenes before the Mets' muddy matinee. All that, plus the Yankees taking on the Reds in Cincinnati right now. And Captain Aaron Judge's bat just stays red hot. Sports is next. All right, welcome back. The Yankees are playing in the bandbox in Cincinnati, where runs and hits just keep on coming. Aaron Judge is having a field day at the plate as the Bombers are now going for 3 in a row. Let's jump to the top of the 3rd inning. Yankees down 1-0 when Aaron Judge hammers one off the wall, scores a run coming in for the game. Now we move to the bottom of the 4th, and Luke Mailey hits a 2-run shot. That's off Johnny Brito, and that puts the Reds up 4-1. And guess who comes through in the top of the 5th inning? That man again, Aaron Judge. He does it again, RBI double, and that makes it 4-3, and the Yankees would tack on one more, and the game is tied right now where it stands in the 8th inning. Mets and Guardians postponed due to the rainy weather in Queens today, and that's probably for the best because everyone really needs a breather after last night's game ended like this.
So you knew it was going to come down to this. Lindor with a chance to be the hero against his old team. Nimmo runs in a slide, base hit, and the Mets win it! Lindor against Cleveland gets the winning hit, and the Mets win 10-9.
And Joe, I know you're happy. That was an instant classic at Citi Field where we saw the Mets come back from 5 runs down to force extra innings off the bat of a red-hot Pete Alonso who hit a grand slam. Then down 2 runners in the 10th. Mets roared back again, capped off the comeback with Francisco Lindor driving in that winning run after the game. Lindor was much more interested in his current team winning 3 in a row than he was in defeating his old team in his first appearance against them.
Winning is always special. Winning is always special. I'm blessed to have my family here, and the fans are sticking by me day in and day out, so I appreciate you guys.
All right, we're just about a half hour away from the 148th running of the Preakness Stakes in Baltimore. The race is the second leg of the Triple Crown at the Pimlico Racecourse. Kentucky Derby winner Mage will look to continue his bid for the second of this coveted horse racing crown. He's taking on tough competition, including National Treasure, a horse trained by Bobby Baffert, who had his hands in 2 Triple Crown winners. One of the top contenders, his first Mitchin, was scratched yesterday due to injury. Post times for the horses now set for 7:01 p.m. All right, no more excuses for LeBron James and his Los Angeles Lakers as the team leaves behind the high altitude of Denver and hosts the Nuggets tonight, trailing 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals. 2-time league MVP, the Joker, now needs just 2 more victories to take his team to the NBA Finals for the first time ever. Tip-off at the Crypto.com Arena, 8:30 p.m., and you can catch all of that right here on Channel 7.
Highlights after the game.
That's it.
Sir. That's the news for now. I'm Joe Torres.
And I'm Sandra Bookman. We're coming back after the NBA game. You should too.